Hi, everybody. My name is Kimberly. I am one of the members of the Filipino-American Society of Iowa Scholarship Committee, and I'm going to talk to you today about the college application. Welcome to our first webinar. So we're going to look over 3 different things during this video. First, we're going to start with the college application process itself. Second, we're going to talk about the common application. And lastly, we're going to end with some important deadlines to keep in mind as you enter your senior year of high school. So just a little bit about me. I graduated from Indianola High School in the class of 2017, and I was a first-generation college student, so I was going through this process. I then graduated in 2021 from Simpson College in Indianola with a Bachelor's of Arts in Marketing Communications with a minor in management. And now I work as an admissions counselor. Basically, I am that go-to person on a daily basis for all things college application. So if you live within the Southeast Iowa portion, that is who you would work with me. I'd be your admissions counselor, but I also work with Midwest states, Southern states, and Eastern state students as well. So we'll talk about the application process. What is a college application? Well, a college application is really going to vary school to school, but these are 5 main things that you can look for that every college application is going to have to some extent. So the basics of the application is you're going to have the application itself. The application itself is going to be very similar to a job application if you've ever done that. So it's going to ask for your name. It's going to ask for where you live. It's going to ask where you go to high school. It's going to also ask about your parents and where they work, if they work. And they're going to also ask for different activities that you're involved in, stuff like that. After you have the application done, colleges are also going to need your high school transcript. Now, your high school transcript is going to give the college an insight of what you were like as a student. They're going to be able to see the grades you got, what classes you have taken, and kind of get to see that side of you. Now we're going to get into 3 things that may be required at some schools, and some things that may be optional at some schools. The first is going to be standardized tests. So that's going to be the ACT or the SAT, depending on where you are applying. This is a standard entry exam for college that some schools still require for entry and some do not. So this is going to be the time where we're going to look at individual colleges and see if you're going to need to take that or not. Another thing that may be optional at some schools but required at others are going to be personal essays. A personal essay is the time to tell your story. It's that time to tell them about all the academic achievements you have, tell them about the time you volunteered at the hospital, all the clubs and organizations you were involved in. It's the time to tell the admissions committee all about you and why they should accept you into that school. And lastly, letters of recommendation. Letters of recommendation can come from anybody. They can come from coaches, they can come from teachers, counselors, work supervisors, and they're just going to be another way for the admissions committee to look at you and be like, okay, this is really a great student and we want that student here. So what do admissions counselors look for while they look through the application? Some important aspects include your high school grade point average. That's going to be your GPA. Most schools within Iowa work on a 4.0 GPA, so a lot of schools or institutions like to look for you to have a 3.0 or higher. But that doesn't necessarily mean if you're below that you will not get accepted into college, which is kind of awesome. Because another thing they look for are the classes you've taken. Have you taken those AP classes, those advanced placement classes? Have you taken the dual enrollment classes through your community college? Those are all things that colleges are going to look for on your transcript to see what you're doing. Another important aspect are going to be the activities you're involved in high school. Are you involved in show choir? Do you play 5 different sports? Are you in volunteering club? Those are going to be important things to help the admissions committee see who you are as a person. And lastly, they're going to look at community service. If you do any, do you help with the Filipino-American Society's picnic? Do you go out and read to elementary school students? Do you help at the library? Things like this will be all things that the admissions committee and admissions counselors are going to look for as they look through your application. Now let's talk through the common application. The common application is going to allow you to apply to more than 900 colleges at once, but it's going to need a lot of materials to get it done. So you're going to fill out the application itself. Then it's going to also need your high school transcript. It's going to also need a list of activities, work, and family responsibilities. It is also going to ask you for your test scores so they can submit those. It's going to ask for parent or legal guardian information, academic honors and achievements, and then it's going to ask for 2 letters of recommendation. Now, the common application, as you can tell, will have all of these required. So it's going to take a lot of time to get through this, but on the flip side, it's going to allow you to be able to send your application at once to many, many different schools. So let's look at the differences between applying through the common application versus just a direct application. So basically going to iowastate.com and applying there. So the common application, like I said before, will allow you to apply to many institutions at once. You gather all this information one time, and then the common application will allow you to type in that school that you want it sent to, and it sends all your information there. No additional materials required, which is pretty awesome. But it is a longer application, and it's going to need many different materials. For instance, the common application requires you to submit test scores, while a direct application may not require you. So that's something to keep in mind. The common application, though, is great for students who know, I want to apply to so many different schools, or I want to apply to a school here in Iowa and in New York and in California and in Florida and in Texas. This will allow you to do all that and make sure you're hitting everything that those different schools are needing. Now, on the flip side, a direct application will be going to one institution. So a direct application is going to that school's direct website and applying off of that. This will save you a lot more time if you're only applying to a couple, because you're just submitting the things that each institution needs. And again, it's going to save you time, and it's going to save you test scores and stuff like that if the institutions you are applying for do not require them. So this is great for students that may know, I want to be within 2 to 4 hours of home. Within 2 to 4 hours, there's only maybe 2 private schools in the Iowa State, the region schools. Okay, each are going to be a little different, but applying directly to them will allow you to see, okay, I don't need a test score for any of them. I don't need to take ACTs. Or on the flip side, okay, I need to write personal essays for every single one. Maybe I can submit the same one for all of them. So that's going to be the big advantage of a direct application. Now let's look at some important deadlines to keep in the back of your mind as we go on to your senior year. The first thing to keep in mind is college applications are opening up. Ours at Simpson actually will open up on the 12th, and we have some other schools that are opening up, that have opened up or going to open up around that same time too. So between the middle of July to the beginning of August, that's when the college application process is going to begin. What's really, really exciting and something I highly encourage is you just getting those applications done and over with during this summertime, while you might have a little bit more free time, then worrying about it when school starts. When school starts and when senior year gets here, college is going to be that last thing you want to think about those first couple of weeks. As you get adjusted to being seniors, you start taking on senior activities. You might have football games to go to. Having all the college application materials in, the process started, will allow you to be a little bit ahead while you go into your senior year. After you get those college application process or college applications into the different institutions, this will also allow you to get college acceptance letters, hopefully in the mail soon. And that's a great feeling to get an acceptance letter to different schools that you've been wanting to go to for a while. The next big deadline after you start applying to different institutions and getting those feedbacks is going to be October 1st. October 1st of 2022 is when the free application for federal student aid opens up. This is nicknamed FAFSA, and we will have a whole video about how you will apply for FAFSA because it's a need-based application that looks over your tax information. So closer to October, we'll do another one of these web seminars so that way you can look over them. And then you can expect your financial aid offers to come anywhere between November and January, depending on your institution. So while you're applying to different colleges and getting your FAFSA in, that is a great time to go and visit these different colleges, get a feel of what they're like, what do their activities look like, what do their facilities, what do their dorms look like, do they have air conditioning, do you have to live on campus? That kind of gives you a couple months to fill that out before you get hit with the financial part of it. After that, Once you have all that information, May 1st, 2023 is what we call National College Decision Day. Hopefully by then you can know where you want to go, where you want to attend, hopefully sooner than that as well. But really May 1st for different institutions acts as the day that you are deciding you want to go to this school. I know for us at Simpson, after May 1st, your enrollment deposit is non-refundable. So it kind of locks you in. But you got to check with different institutions to make sure that date doesn't move up. And while you're limiting your institutions, maybe you start applying to 10, then in November you're down to 5, and then hopefully by January you're down to 3 or 2. Make sure you check with those individual scholarship or schools for individual scholarship deadlines as well. There might be scholarships for volunteering or special interests that you want to make sure you're hitting as well. But this at least gives you an idea of what to expect as we go into your senior year. Well, reach out to us with any questions you may have. Below is the whole scholarship committee, Steve, Roxy, Melissa, and I, and we are really here to help. We want to make sure you go through this whole process and you have people to support you along the way. So feel free to give us an email whenever you are ready, and then that way we can help you through your application. Good luck applying, and I wish you all the best. Have a great night.